Hey everybody, welcome back to the center lane, a political discussion for those of us in the middle. Compromise is not such a bad thing. Well, you're starting to hear about it more and more because they're voting on it. The big beautiful bill. Don't know exactly what it is, and most people don't, but I'm going to talk about it in just a moment. But remember that Congress, yes, the third branch of our government, the legislative branch, is actually voting on something, and they're doing something. I forgot they're even there, honestly, between the executive branch and Trump and his oversized personality, and then the judicial branch with the Supreme Court rulings and et cetera, et cetera. That's another whole podcast. I forgot we even had a third branch of legislative. So they have to vote on this bill. First off, Trump, he's a Republican, but he sure isn't very fiscally conservative. So I don't know where you could put him in, what box you can put that guy in. I don't know. He's in a lot of boxes. But unfortunately, the bad part of the bill, as I do know, is it's going to add to our deficit over the next 10 years. 3.3 trillion with a T, up to 4.5 trillion with a T again. That's a lot of money on top of our 36 trillion with a T again deficient we have going. So think of your credit card and you have a huge debt and you have to pay interest on it. And if your credit cards get too high, you find yourself making that monthly payment, which is really just paying off your interest and not getting to the principal. That's kind of where we're at right now. So that's something to really be concerned about. That's why he's getting some pushback from people in his own party. However, Trump, being the good sport that he is, threatens those guys that don't vote along with him to primary them, to get them out so he can get somebody in there that thinks more the way he does. Well, fair play. The Democrats do the same thing. They did the same thing to Manchin over in West Virginia. And what's her name? Samina from Arizona. When they didn't vote along the party line, people in the party try to push you out. But, there was a day, believe it or not, it's not that long ago, maybe 25, 30 years ago, when you used to see voting for bills and you would see Republicans and Democrats crossing the aisle all the time. It's not like it is now. It's crazy now. It's flat out party line, down the line voting, period. So what happens with that? Well, I think that the local constituencies in individual states who elect their leaders to represent them when they go to Washington, they kind of get, their voices get, squashed, really. I mean, so what's going to happen with this bill? Who knows? I do know that a couple things on it that stick out to me. Is one is the taking away all the credits and all the for the renewable energies. That they're going to completely take all those credits away and charge them additional fees for the new buildings that are in place. Now, there's a lot of jobs that are halfway on the way to being done because we need more power for these AI centers and these data centers that they're building all over the place. And of course, oil and nat gas can take care of some of that as well, but you really need both, and you can't give up on the future of renewables. Plus, they give a lot of jobs. So right there, that's something that's like, again, you got to look forward. You got to look past more than the 3 years of this guy's term, All these laws that are changing in the Supreme Court, all these things he's doing, taking away the renewable stuff, and that is the future. It is, Oil and gas are not going to last forever, and they can coexist. We need them. I'm not saying we don't need to use our natural resources, responsibly and as clean as possible. But we need to start looking at the future. So that's one thing that's really been taken away from that. So I think that, Elon Musk's head almost exploded this morning, and he's very upset about it. But, of course, he's got EV, that's his brand. So that's going to hurt his business. But I think he actually has a true sense that, like, this is not a good idea to do this. China is kicking our butts with this stuff right now with the renewables and the batteries and all that stuff, and we cannot let that just go on the wayside for short-term gains or popularity. And I'm not even sure how popular that is. There's a lot more to talk about on this. I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow, but for right now, I want you guys to have a great day. Remember, I got that book you can go on Amazon, Bear Hastings. It's about a serial killer and a kid that's been bullied. Perfect match in heaven, right? Thank you very much. I'll talk to you tomorrow.